Next slide, please. So we're just going to talk about Section 5 of the Number Resource Policy Manual, AS numbers. This is the current text, and the three sections that are in bold are the three in particular that we're going to discuss. Next slide, please. So the first section we're going to discuss is the section that says sites that do not require a unique AS number should use one or more of the AS numbers reserved for private use. The most popular question we get here is, how do I know if I require a unique AS number? And our typical response is, if you don't have the need to use it on the public internet, then a private ASN should satisfy your needs. So to help clarify that for customers, we just thought you might want to consider maybe changing the words a little bit to private ASNs should only be used when there is no plan to use them on the public internet. Next slide, please. And then the section with where we outline unique routing policy and the multi-home sites. Unique routing policy is somewhat problematic for customers. They don't really understand what that means, and most of our ASNs are issued under the multi-home policy anyway. So we just had a suggestion that you might want to consider reversing the order to help make this a little easier for customers. And just if they plan to connect the network using BGP or multi-home, or using your network requires routing policies to be deployed which are unique only to your network, unique routing policy. That might help customers a little better as well. Next slide, please. And then the last section is AS numbers are issued based on current need, and organizations should request an AS number only when it's already multi-homed or immediately become multi-homed. Given that all of our resources are issued based on justified need, you might want to consider even removing this or even replacing it and just saying that you can request an AS number when your network plans are ready and when you're planning to use BGP or have a unique need for your own ASN. Next slide, please. And this really isn't a policy experience report, so to speak, but this seemed like the most appropriate place to put it since it was part of the Number Resource Policy Manual. Section 3.2 talks about distributed information service, the use requirements for that. There's a line in there that says that our WHOIS servers, for instance, must be operational 24/7 and that they must allow public access both to ARIN and to the community in general. We currently have about 712 organization identifiers that have our WHOIS servers listed on them, but only 250 of those are currently accessible. We do know that some organizations have moved over to SWIP instead of using their RWHOIS, so they've probably just forgotten to remove their RWHOIS server. So if you fall into this category, or if you've changed your RWHOIS server and you just need some assistance with that, we just ask that you open up an Ask ARIN ticket, and we'd be happy to help you with any of that. Next slide, please. I think that's it. Yes, unless you have any questions.